Missed a chapter? No worries, Manhwa Recap Hub has your back. Our detailed recaps ensure you stay up to date with the latest twists and turns, allowing you to fully immerse yourself in the rich narratives manhwa has to offer. The house-wrecked scene unfolded in a nightmarish symphony of destruction. The protagonist, a shattered soul in the ruins of his once happy home, was surrounded by the grim aftermath of the monster's rampage. The air was thick with the acrid scent of burning memories, and the protagonist's heart lay in ruins alongside his family. As he surveyed the devastation, the protagonist's eyes fell on the grotesque remnants of his parents' heads, the only remnants of the family he once knew. Grief and despair gripped his soul, and he wished for an end to his suffering, a wish that echoed in the emptiness of his thoughts. But fate had a cruel twist in store. The monstrous creature, embodiment of the protagonist's living nightmare, approached with malicious intent. The protagonist's desperate thoughts were abruptly severed as the monster's cruel chop decapitated him, ending his suffering in a macabre display. The monster callously dragged the lifeless body, leaving a trail of despair in its wake. In a horrifying turn, the creature proceeded to devour the protagonist's remains. On the flip side, in the dark recesses of the monster's world, another monster engaged in a conversation with its companion. One monster, seemingly satiated, remarked on the enjoyment of playing with prey. Its friend, however, suggested a change of menu for the next hunt. Laughter echoed in the shadows as the monsters reveled in their twisted sense of amusement. Suddenly, a revelation disrupted their sinister amusement. One monster, pointing to its companion holding a severed arm, inquired about the curious collection. It was then that the resurrected protagonist, fueled by rage, launched a frenzied attack. The monster, perplexed at the familiar face it had consumed earlier, lifted the protagonist for inspection. Amidst the chaos, the protagonist's regenerating arm left the monster bewildered. Confusion gave way to a sinister grin as the monsters contemplated the unique nature of their captive. The protagonist, writhing in pain, discovered that his supposed gift of regeneration was nothing but a cruel curse. Years later, in a desolate cave, the protagonist found himself chained to a rock, a mere plaything for the monsters. Hunger fueled their sadistic desires as they tore away at his flesh, leaving him in perpetual agony. The protagonist's body, regenerating at an accelerated rate, offered no respite from the unending torment. As the three-eyed monster contemplated unlocking the protagonist's chains, its companion cautioned against touching the protagonist's hair, a supposed weakness. The chains fell away, and the protagonist was momentarily freed, yet the monster's sadistic game persisted, a relentless nightmare that played out whenever hunger overcame reason. The monster, referring to our protagonist as Lizard Tail, demanded his presence with a cruel tone. However, our protagonist seized the opportunity that the monster's arrogance provided. With a determined glare, he decided to take a swing at the monster, fueled by anger over the taunts and the loss of his family. In response, the monster mocked him callously, reminding him of the grotesque fate that befell his parents. Undeterred, our protagonist charged, shouting at the monster to silence its twisted laughter. The monster, however, showcased its agility, evading our protagonist's attack and leaving him with a missing arm. Unfazed, the monster, now savoring the taste of our protagonist's severed limb, continued its assault. Our protagonist skillfully dodged the onslaught, realizing that the monster was using him as a pawn in its sadistic game. As the relentless attacks continued, our protagonist mustered the strength for a counterattack. In a moment of defiance, he landed a punch on the monster, only to have his fist caught. The monster, reveling in its perceived superiority, broke our protagonist's arm. Yet our protagonist's resilience shone through. Seizing an opportune moment, he strategically used his regenerating arm to choke the monster, turning the tables briefly. Amidst laughter and mockery, he tasted the satisfaction of retaliating against his tormentor. The three-eyed monster, enraged by our protagonist's defiance, retaliated by violently squeezing his head. Despite the pain, our protagonist goaded the monster, urging it to end his suffering. Meanwhile, the other monster proposed a sinister deal to the three-eyed companion, suggesting sparing our protagonist's life in exchange for leading them to a nearby village. The three-eyed monster, entertained by the proposal, slammed our protagonist to the ground and eagerly agreed. The hopelessness of our protagonist's situation sank in as he lay on the ground, realizing he was not to be granted the mercy of death. In the aftermath, the three-eyed monster sadistically approached our protagonist, mocking his futile struggle. As the other monster dragged him away, leaving a trail of blood, someone observed the scene from a distance. Analyzing the blood on the ground, the observer recognized it as human, but the sheer quantity hinted at monstrous activity. Meanwhile, our protagonist, chained and battered, desperately warned the villagers of the impending danger. The three-eyed monster, dismissing his cries, claimed that humans only believe what they see. Ignoring the monster, our protagonist continued his futile efforts until a sudden, loud step interrupted the bleak scene. A mysterious man, appearing unexpectedly, commended our protagonist for leading him to them. He revealed that while he couldn't track our protagonist through blood, his scream served as a beacon. Our protagonist, surprised, questioned why the man didn't heed his warnings, to which the man simply acknowledged his achievement and expressed gratitude for the valuable information. The tense confrontation unfolded as our protagonist questioned the man, demanding to know why he couldn't see the monsters that loomed in the vicinity. The man, momentarily speechless, angrily instructed our protagonist to leave the monsters to him. In a surprising turn of events, the man revealed a small bell hidden within his shirt. As he shook the bell, a white aura enveloped him, and he underwent a transformation. A girl materialized behind him, leaving both the three-eyed monster and the other one astonished. Introducing himself as Chinwoo, a monster hunter, he explained his role as someone tasked with hunting down monsters. The monsters, baffled by this revelation, were caught off guard when Chinwoo unsheathed his sword. With a swift swing, he cleaved the three-eyed monster in half, shocking our protagonist and the remaining monster. The other monster, enraged and determined to silence Chinwoo, launched a counterattack using its tentacles. However, Chinwoo effortlessly deflected each attack. The monster attempted a fierce punch, but Chinwoo, using his sword with precision, skillfully cut the creature in half. A mysterious light from above descended, cutting the ground. The remaining monster, realizing the imminent danger, evaded the attack. Chinwoo, displaying mastery over his skills, attacked the monster, piercing its chest with an aura. The defeated monster crumpled to the ground. Chinwoo freed our protagonist from the chains, assuring him that the danger had passed. Our protagonist, overwhelmed with a mix of emotions, laughed and cried simultaneously. He expressed his gratitude and admiration for Chinwoo's ability to defeat the monsters. Curious and inspired, our protagonist asked Chinwoo to teach him how to kill monsters. Chinwoo explained that they were monster hunters and suggested that our protagonist could join as a trainee. Resolved, they decided to return to the group together. However, an unexpected revelation stunned Chinwoo. Our protagonist, demonstrating his regenerative ability, explained the years of torment he endured at the hands of the monsters. He expressed his desire to kill them, kneeling before Chinwoo, seeking guidance. Chinwoo, realizing the depth of our protagonist's suffering, pondered the kind of life he had lived. He reluctantly agreed to teach our protagonist, accepting the responsibility to guide him in their shared mission. As our protagonist embraced the name Lizard's Tail given by the monsters, he vowed never to forget the horrors they inflicted upon him. The two unlikely companions set forth on a journey to confront the monsters that haunted their past. As training with Chinwoo progressed, Lizard, our protagonist, expressed his determination to learn even if the methods were extremely painful. Chinwoo assured him that the training would be arduous, but then surprised Lizard by stating that he would share something positive before they started. Chinwoo explained that when a monster dies, its ring disappears. He assured Lizard that, at the very least, he would help him kill the monster they currently had. This revelation left Lizard grateful, and he thanked Chinwoo for the opportunity. A moment later, a cough from the supposedly defeated monster revealed that it was still alive and pondering why it had been tied with a chain. Chinwoo clarified that while chains wouldn't keep the monster physically bound, the sound of its movements would alert him if it tried to escape. He warned the monster that if the chain broke, it would die. With the immediate threat addressed, Chinwoo turned his attention to Lizard. He explained that every human is connected to divinity and possessing divine power is crucial for a monster hunter. Chinwoo announced his intention to teach Lizard how to harness this divine power. Chinwoo shared the first step, opening one's sixth sense. Lizard, curious, inquired about the sixth sense. Chinwoo explained that it was an enhanced perception but emphasized that it took a long time to open. Lizard, concerned about the time it would take, expressed his desire for revenge. Chinwoo offered to expedite the process but warned that it would be painful. Confident and determined, Lizard agreed, stating that the pain didn't matter as long as he could kill monsters. Chinwoo then revealed his plan to forcibly open Lizard's sixth sense, causing Lizard to light up with anticipation. Chinwoo shook a bell, releasing a white aura that opened Lizard's sixth sense. Lizard felt a black fog emerging from his body, and Chinwoo explained that it was the divine power. Lizard, still bewildered, closed his eyes to focus on his sixth sense. Chinwoo clarified that building trust with the divinity was essential for a complete possession. Even if divinity refused, Lizard could still hold on to it with an incomplete possession, utilizing half of its power. Lizard agreed to try and focused on his sixth sense, but all he could hear was noise. Suddenly, Lizard heard someone swear, leading to confusion. He opened his eyes, revealing two powerful eyes behind him. Meanwhile, Chinwoo was perplexed by Lizard's unexpected reaction. Lizard, determined, knelt and swore to someone unseen. As he opened his eyes, two powerful eyes manifested behind him. Chinwoo was surprised by Lizard's unique interaction with divinity. Lizard, catching his breath, confirmed his determination to endure the pain. Chinwoo praised Lizard, acknowledging that he had his doubts but was now impressed by his resilience. Meanwhile, Lizard, in pain, tried to hold on to the divinity, determined to master this newfound power. As the intense battle unfolded between Lizard and the monster, Chinwoo observed with awe and pride at Lizard's agility and determination. Despite enduring excruciating pain, Lizard charged towards the chained monster, determined to prove himself. The monster, initially shocked by Lizard's sudden assault, quickly freed itself and dodged Lizard's initial attack. Chinwoo suggested to the monster that it was an opportunity to run away, offering freedom if it could defeat Lizard. The monster, however, couldn't believe the strength Lizard had gained in such a short time. Lizard, grinning, assured the monster that they should proceed with the fight. The monster, perplexed and wondering what Chinwoo did to Lizard, pondered the authenticity of the result Chinwoo sought. Undeterred, Lizard ran towards the monster with a smile. The monster, using its claws, inflicted cuts on Lizard's back, yet Lizard laughed it off, feeling the sensation more like a scratch than a deep wound. Lizard continued his assault, dodging attacks and maintaining a confident demeanor. The monster, attempting to exploit an opening, cut Lizard's leg, causing him to lose balance. Seizing the opportunity, the monster aimed to pierce Lizard's head. However, Lizard seemingly vanished, leaving the monster bewildered. Reappearing, Lizard revealed that the monster enjoyed it when he pretended to be deceived, reminiscent of the manipulation by the three-eyed monster. With a sudden punch, Lizard sent the monster crashing to the ground, coughing and struggling to comprehend Lizard's newfound strength. As Lizard relentlessly attacked, Chinwoo marveled at his agile movements and endurance, considering Lizard's potential to surpass him. Lizard, in the midst of the battle, punched the monster, who managed to dodge. Undeterred, Lizard grabbed the monster's tentacle, biting it off despite the monster's retaliation. The monster, vowing revenge, pulled out a horn from its back, revealing it as a weapon. In response, Lizard displayed his twisted sense of humor, pulling off his own arm to use as a weapon. Chinwoo, shocked by the gruesome act, couldn't help but find a strange amusement in the situation. Lizard, using his arm as a weapon, successfully blocked the monster's sword. Chinwoo wondered if the divine power helped Lizard achieve this feat. Lizard, with a creepy smile, grabbed the monster's hand, revealing a dark enjoyment in the battle. With a disturbing smile, Lizard declared his arm as his weapon and attacked the monster, severing its arm. The monster screamed in pain, and as it tried to retaliate, Lizard attacked again, causing the monster to scream once more. Lizard's relentless assault left the monster in despair, its weapon shattered, and its defeat apparent. The monster, facing his imminent demise, felt the fear he once experienced in the presence of Chinwoo. Helplessly, he dropped his broken weapon to the ground. Unlike the previous encounter, this time, sensing his impending death, the monster began running without looking back. However, Lizard, with a determined smile, leaped towards the fleeing monster. The monster's face turned to despair as Lizard readied his arm weapon and smashed the monster's head, causing it to roll on the ground with its fading ring. Lizard, now holding the monster's fading ring, decided to give the creature a name before it perished. He lifted the monster's head, proclaiming its new name as the beginning of revenge. With a solemn promise to his parents that vengeance had finally begun, Lizard dropped the monster's head, severed from its ring. Chinwoo suggested they leave, and Lizard turned to him, asking if they needed to depart immediately. Chinwoo affirmed, mentioning that a nearby village was likely just around the corner. Lizard thanked Chin, and the two started walking towards the village. As they walked, Lizard questioned Chin about what would have happened if the possession of divine power had taken a longer time. Chin responded with a single word: hatred. He explained that he believed Lizard's hatred would expedite the process, perhaps even more than he anticipated. The conversation was interrupted by an explosion in the nearby village. Reacting swiftly, Lizard activated the divine power again, causing a momentary flinch in his body. Together, they ran towards the village, where monsters had attacked the unsuspecting residents. In the village, panic ensued as monsters roamed freely. One monster expressed surprise that there were no monster hunters in the village, while another eagerly anticipated the upcoming feast. As a kid ran for safety, he tripped and found himself at the mercy of a monster. However, Lizard intervened, punching the monster away from the child. With a powerful strike, Lizard shattered the monster's head. Witnessing the chaos, Chin wondered about the absence of guardian divisions in the village. Meanwhile, the remaining monsters were in a panic. Two of them discussed their plans to eliminate Lizard and Chin to claim the village for themselves. Chin, displaying his formidable skills, swiftly dispatched the two monsters. He then turned his attention to the remaining creatures, using his blade aura to cut them down. As the monsters faced their demise, one of them angrily questioned the other's intentions. The monster leaped towards a kid on the ground, determined to have at least one meal before dying. However, before it could reach the child, a pair of hands appeared in front of its face, hinting at another unforeseen turn in the unfolding events. The monster, shocked at the sudden appearance of a monster hunter, faced Lizard's powerful punch, resulting in the shattering of its head. As Lizard turned his attention to the panicking monsters, Chin swiftly dealt with them, cutting them into pieces with his blade aura. Chin pondered the absence of guardian divisions in the villages, unable to comprehend why he couldn't see them. Two remaining monsters attempted to attack Chin and Lizard, claiming that the rest of the village would then be theirs. Chin, with a stern response, likened the monsters to greedy foxes before cutting them into pieces. He questioned the monsters about their whispers and used his blade aura to eliminate the others. A lone monster, angered by the situation, looked down at a terrified child, expressing disbelief at the turn of events. The monster jumped off a building, intending to consume at least one person before meeting its end. However, Lizard intervened, punching the monster's face, causing its body to stop in front of the child. Lizard kicked the monster's body away, and Chin landed on the ground, commending Lizard for his efforts. The villagers, initially shocked, soon realized they were saved. Grateful for the monster hunter's intervention, they celebrated and expressed their gratitude. The village head approached Lizard and Chin, thanking them for saving the village and offering assistance. Chin acknowledged the offer and mentioned Lizard's need for clothes and food. The village head, understanding the situation, instructed the villagers to guide the heroes to the bathhouse and provide them with necessities. As Lizard was being led to the bathhouse, Chin noticed something from afar. Meanwhile, some villagers discovered the monster's body, concluding that someone had arrived before them. They speculated that this person had protected the village. Observing Chin's approach, a woman asked if he was the one who obliterated the monsters. Another man noted Chin's apparent anger. The village leader, fearing Chin's response, apologized for the lack of guards. However, Chin sternly questioned the guards about what would have happened to the villagers if he hadn't intervened and warned against making excuses in front of the dead. The monster, shocked at the sudden appearance of a monster hunter, faced Lizard's powerful punch, resulting in the shattering of its head. As Lizard turned his attention to the panicking monsters, Chin swiftly dealt with them, cutting them into pieces with his blade aura. Chin pondered the absence of guardian divisions in the villages, unable to comprehend why he couldn't see them. Two remaining monsters attempted to attack Chin and Lizard, claiming that the rest of the village would then be theirs. Chin, with a stern response, likened the monsters to greedy foxes before cutting them into pieces. He questioned the monsters about their whispers and used his blade aura to eliminate the others. A lone monster, angered by the situation, looked down at a terrified child, expressing disbelief at the turn of events. The monster jumped off a building, intending to consume at least one person before meeting its end. However, Lizard intervened, punching the monster's face, causing its body to stop in front of the child. Lizard kicked the monster's body away, and Chin landed on the ground, commending Lizard for his efforts. The villagers, initially shocked, soon realized they were saved. Grateful for the monster hunter's intervention, they celebrated and expressed their gratitude. The village head approached Lizard and Chin, thanking them for saving the village and offering assistance. Chin acknowledged the offer and mentioned Lizard's need for clothes and food. The village head, understanding the situation, instructed the villagers to guide the heroes to the bathhouse and provide them with necessities. As Lizard was being led to the bathhouse, Chin noticed something from afar. Meanwhile, some villagers discovered the monster's body, concluding that someone had arrived before them. They speculated that this person had protected the village. Observing Chin's approach, a woman asked if he was the one who obliterated the monsters. Another man noted Chin's apparent anger. The village leader, fearing Chin's response, apologized for the lack of guards. However, Chin sternly questioned the guards about what would have happened to the villagers if he hadn't intervened and warned against making excuses in front of the dead. If Chin was really thinking about taking a break, to which Chin responded that Lizard needed to understand the importance of fake breaks in their training. Lizard, confused, asked what Chin meant by fake breaks, and Chin explained that it was part of their mental training to make them believe they would get a break at any moment, keeping them on edge. Chin continued to share the philosophy of monster hunters, emphasizing the need for both physical and mental strength. He mentioned that monsters could sense fear and hesitation, making mental strength crucial in facing them. Lizard, despite the challenging training, expressed determination to become stronger. As they resumed their running, Chin reminded Lizard that the real training was about to begin. He instructed Lizard to activate his divine power while running and maintain it. Lizard, determined to prove himself, followed Chin's instructions. The training continued into the day, pushing Lizard's limits and testing his ability to control the divine power. Chin, satisfied with the progress, eventually called for a real break. Lizard, exhausted but determined, asked what the next training would be. Chin, with a mysterious smile, hinted that they would move on to combat training next. The two monster hunters, master and disciple, continued their journey, ready to face whatever challenges awaited them in the world filled with monsters. Faith can't run anymore because he's exhausted. Chin, with a stern expression, tells Lizard that the training has just begun and they're not there to rest. Lizard, feeling the fatigue, asks Chin if there's no end to this running. Chin responds by saying that there's no end to training, and each step they take makes them stronger. Chin explains to Lizard that the monsters will never stop coming, and they can't afford to rest. He emphasizes the importance of becoming strong enough to protect the people and destroy the monsters. Lizard, despite his exhaustion, understands Chin's words and decides to continue the training. As they enter the village, Chin instructs Lizard to observe the people and understand what they're fighting for. Lizard sees the villagers going about their lives, children playing, and people working together. Chin tells Lizard that their duty as monster hunters is to ensure that this way of life is protected. Lizard, inspired by the resilience of the villagers, gains a renewed determination. He realizes that becoming a monster hunter is not just about personal revenge, but also about safeguarding the lives of innocent people. With this newfound purpose, Lizard pushes himself to keep going. Chin and Lizard continue their training, facing more challenges and monsters along the way. As they confront each obstacle, Lizard learns not only the physical skills required to be a monster hunter, but also the mental fortitude needed to endure the hardships of their mission. Their journey continues, with Lizard transforming from a vengeful individual into a dedicated monster hunter, ready to face any threat to protect the world from the monsters that lurk in the shadows. And not to get distracted by Lizard's behavior. Rayon, still annoyed by Lizard, reluctantly agrees, and they move forward with the operation. As they progress, Chin leads the platoon, including Lizard, into the heart of the monster-infested area. Lizard, filled with anticipation, eagerly confronts the monsters that come their way. The clash between monster hunters and monsters begins. Lizard, driven by his desire for vengeance and his newfound strength, fights fiercely. His divine power enhances his attacks, making him a formidable force against the monsters. Rayon and Zhong, keeping up with the operation, witness Lizard's unique and powerful fighting style. Chin, observing his students, notices that Lizard's approach to combat is unorthodox but effective. He sees the raw strength and determination in Lizard's actions. Despite the initial tension between the students, the platoon works together to eliminate the monsters threatening the area. As the battle unfolds, Lizard, Rayon, and Zhong gradually develop a mutual understanding through the intensity of combat. The monsters fall one by one, and the platoon's coordination improves. Lizard, despite his initial rivalry with Rayon, starts to acknowledge the capabilities of his fellow monster hunters. The operation continues into the night, with the platoon pressing forward against the relentless waves of monsters. Chin, leading by example, guides and supports his students, fostering a sense of camaraderie among them. Finally, after a long and arduous battle, the platoon successfully clears the area of monsters. Exhausted but triumphant, they regroup. Chin commends the students for their performance and reminds them that monster hunting requires teamwork. Rayon, now respecting Lizard's abilities, acknowledges him with a nod. Zhong, appreciating the unity forged during the operation, also shows a sign of approval. Lizard, catching his breath, looks at his fellow monster hunters with a newfound understanding. Chin, satisfied with the outcome, instructs the platoon to return to the headquarters for debriefing. As they make their way back, Lizard, Rayon, and Zhong share a glance, silently acknowledging the bond formed through the challenges they faced together. The journey of Lizard as a monster hunter continues, marked by both personal growth and the camaraderie forged in the heat of battle.